You think coffee gives you energy. It doesn't. I know that sounds strange, even offensive, especially if you're like most men I meet. Wake up, yawn, head to the kitchen, reach for the mug before your eyes even adjust to the light. That first sip? Feels like magic. Your brain sharpens. Your body starts to move. You feel like yourself again. But what if I told you that feeling is borrowed? That what you're calling energy is really your nervous system being forced to sprint before it's ready. Let me say it clearly, caffeine doesn't create energy. It creates pressure. It tells your adrenal glands, pump stress hormones, now. It tells your heart, go faster. It tells your brain, ignore how tired you are. And your body listens, for a little while. But here's what happens next, you crash. Maybe at 10 a.m., maybe at 2 p.m., maybe it sneaks up on you at bedtime, when you lie awake, wide-eyed, while your body begs for rest and your mind refuses to shut off. This is not power. This is overdraft energy, energy borrowed from systems that need to recover, not hustle. And over time? Your sleep suffers. Your testosterone drops. Your body forgets how to make real energy on its own. You're left with the illusion of stamina, while quietly draining your reserves, one morning at a time. So no, coffee isn't evil. But it's not the solution you've been sold either. You don't feel alive because of caffeine. You feel temporarily distracted from how tired you really are. And that's the lie in your morning cup. A lie most men over 60 have been living for decades, believing the mug holds magic, when all it really holds is delay. Let's talk about your routine. Not the one you write down, the one your body lives. The one that's been on repeat for years. You wake up. You feel a little foggy. You head to the kitchen, flip on the coffee pot, and drink your first cup before you've even eaten. That caffeine hits your system fast. Your brain lights up. You feel sharper. Maybe you even convince yourself, okay, I think I've got it in me today. But then, by late morning, you're already thinking about your second cup. And after lunch? You crash. So you reach for a third, maybe a soda, maybe an energy drink, maybe more coffee. And by 3 p.m.? You're tired again. Sluggish. A little irritable. You chalk it up to getting older, but that's not it. Here's what's really happening. Caffeine is turning your energy into a roller coaster, and your sleep into a war zone. Every time you drink caffeine, especially on an empty stomach, your body releases a surge of cortisol, your primary stress hormone. That cortisol gives you a quick boost, but it also sends a message to your nervous system, stay on high alert. That's why so many men feel anxious, restless, or overstimulated in the hours after their coffee. Worse, that cortisol spike disrupts your natural circadian rhythm, the internal clock that tells your brain when to wake, when to rest, and when to repair. So what you think is helping you start your engine is actually throwing off your entire internal timing system. And over time? Your mornings feel more dependent, your afternoons feel more drained, your nights feel more restless, your testosterone stops repairing, your body never fully resets, and yet, the habit continues, because every crash makes the next cup feel necessary. It becomes a cycle. Caffeine to function, right pointing arrow, energy crash, right pointing arrow, poor sleep, right pointing arrow, more caffeine just to survive the next day. Men tell me all the time, Doc, I can't even think without coffee, and I believe them. Not because they're weak, but because their system has forgotten how to make energy naturally. That's the hidden cost of the habit. You didn't fail. You were never lazy. You just got stuck in a loop that no one warned you about. But here's the good news, loops can be broken. Rhythms can be reset. And your real energy, the kind that doesn't come from a cup, is still in there. We just have to stop borrowing power, so your body can start building it again. Most men think caffeine only lasts a few hours. You drink it in the morning, by bedtime, it's gone. Right? Not quite. Because while the buzz may fade after a few hours, caffeine's effects on your body, especially your hormones and sleep cycles, last far longer than most realize. Let me explain how. First, caffeine blocks a chemical called adenosine. Adenosine is your body's natural sleep pressure. It builds up the longer you're awake, helping your brain wind down when it's time to rest. But when you drink caffeine, especially early and often, you interrupt this natural buildup. You push past your body's signals. And by the time night rolls around, you may feel wired even though you're exhausted. That's not just annoying, it's damaging. Because without proper adenosine buildup, you never reach the deep, restorative sleep your body needs to reset. And here's where it gets more serious for men over 60. Deep sleep is when your body produces testosterone. Not during the day. Not after the gym. Not from supplements alone. It happens at night, during your deepest sleep cycles. And if caffeine keeps your brain from entering those cycles, your testosterone can't rise. Your recovery never completes. And your energy tanks the next day, no matter how much you try to fight it. It becomes a vicious cycle. Light sleep, right pointing arrow, low testosterone, right pointing arrow, fatigue, right pointing arrow, more caffeine, right pointing arrow, disrupted sleep, right pointing arrow, repeat. And that wired but tired feeling so many men describe? That's the warning sign. You're running on fumes. Not because your body is failing, but because it's never getting a real chance to repair. And caffeine, for all its convenience, is quietly stealing that chance. Second, caffeine doesn't just affect sleep. It also affects testosterone signaling directly. Studies have shown that high levels of caffeine over time can elevate cortisol, the same stress hormone that, when chronically elevated, actually lowers testosterone production. So now you've got a double hit. No deep sleep, right pointing arrow, no hormone recovery, high cortisol, right pointing arrow, blocked testosterone output. It's no wonder so many men tell me, "Doc, I still want to feel desire. I want to feel drive. But it's just not there." It's not that your manhood is fading. It's that your biology is being scrambled by something you never suspected. Not aging. Not weakness. Not failure. Just a cup that comes too early. Too often. And stays in your system far too long. You're trying to drive through the day on a tank that was never refilled the night before. The good news? Your body hasn't forgotten how to recover. It just needs space and time to do what it already knows how to do. And that starts by shifting your relationship with caffeine. So next, let me introduce you to someone who made that shift, and what happened when he did. Let me tell you about Robert. He's 68 years old. Retired Navy. Still sharp. Still strong in the hands. But something in his voice the day he came to see me, that wasn't strength. It was quiet frustration. He looked me straight in the eye and said, "Doc, I'm not weak. I'm not sick. But I don't feel like a man anymore. I can't explain it. I'm just off." He wasn't talking about libido. He wasn't talking about muscles. He was talking about something deeper, the feeling of presence, drive, confidence in his own skin. When we sat down to go over his routine, it all sounded normal. Wake up at 6. 2 strong cups of black coffee. Skip breakfast. Light lunch. Another coffee around 3 p.m. to push through the slump. Dinner at 6. Tired by 9. But couldn't sleep until midnight. Repeat. And like most men, he thought the problem was just age. But I saw the pattern immediately. Caffeine first thing, on an empty stomach. Caffeine in the afternoon, right when the brain starts preparing for nighttime recovery. And no protein until dinner. I asked him one question. "Robert, when's the last time you woke up without needing coffee to feel like yourself?" He smiled, a little embarrassed. "Maybe 15 years ago," I told him we were going to run an experiment. Nothing extreme, no medications, no restrictions. Just a reset. Here's what we did. He stopped drinking coffee after 9:30 a.m. He replaced his second cup with warm water plus lemon. He added 2 eggs or Greek yogurt within 30 minutes of waking up, and he swapped his afternoon coffee for a calming herbal tea, peppermint or chamomile. At first, he was skeptical. The first few days, he felt the pull, not just physical, but emotional. I missed the ritual, he told me, the cup in my hand. The jolt, the identity. But by day 5, something shifted. He texted me one morning, "Doc, I didn't wake up tired. I didn't even reach for the coffee. And last night, I slept through." By day 10, his voice on the phone was different. Fuller. More grounded. By the end of the second week, he came into the office standing taller. "I feel steady," he said. And I didn't even realize how scattered I'd felt for so long. What he noticed most. His sleep felt deeper, his mornings felt calmer, his mind wasn't racing, and, his words, "I don't feel like I'm dragging my masculinity behind me anymore." That's not about testosterone injections. That's not about supplements. That's what happens when a man stops borrowing energy and starts giving his body the rhythm it was built to follow. And Robert? He didn't lose his relationship with coffee. He just reclaimed control of it. Now, he enjoys 1 cup, early, with breakfast, not instead of it. And after that, he lets his body lead. So if you've been where Robert was, if your days begin with caffeine and end with exhaustion, this isn't the end of your story. It might be the first page of your return. You don't need to quit coffee forever. You don't need to give up your morning routine, or change who you are. You just need to press reset. Because here's the truth, your body hasn't forgotten how to create energy, it's just been out of rhythm. So what I'm about to share isn't a detox. It's not a punishment. It's a reset. A way to help your brain, your hormones, and your nervous system remember how to work together again, without leaning on borrowed strength. And it starts with 3 days. Just 3. Here's what the 3-day reset looks like. Checkmark step 1. No caffeine after 9:30 a.m. That's your cutoff point. Even if you wake up at 5 or 6 a.m., your cortisol levels are already high. Adding caffeine too early, or too late, pushes them higher and disrupts your natural energy curve. After 9:30, let your body run on what it builds naturally. Trust that it knows how. Checkmark step 2. Start your day with warm water and protein before caffeine. Before anything, drink a full glass of warm water. This rehydrates your cells, supports blood flow, and gently signals the body to wake up. Then, within 30 minutes of waking, eat a protein-rich breakfast. 2 eggs plus avocado, 1 cup Greek yogurt with chia seeds and berries, cottage cheese with cinnamon and banana slices. This is the energy your body remembers. The kind that builds, not just boosts. Checkmark step 3. Swap afternoon coffee with herbal tea at 2 p.m. When your body starts to dip naturally, reach for peppermint tea, lemon balm, or ginger tea instead of another cup of coffee. You'll still get the ritual, the warmth, the grounding sensation, but none of the neurological tension or sleep disruption. Checkmark step 4. No caffeine at least 8 hours before bedtime. This one is critical. If you go to bed at 10 p.m., your last sip of caffeine should be no later than 2 p.m. Even if you fall asleep after drinking caffeine, your brain stays restless. And without deep sleep, your testosterone, memory, and energy all suffer. Repeat this pattern for 3 straight days. Not forever. Just 3 days. And here's what to expect. Spiral calendar day when you might feel a little foggy by the afternoon. That's not weakness, that's recalibration. It's your body learning to make its own rhythm again. Spiral calendar day 2, you'll sleep a little deeper. You might wake up earlier, without an alarm, and feel strangely calm. You'll notice your cravings for coffee fade slightly. Spiral calendar day 3, your body clicks. Not dramatically, but noticeably. Your thoughts feel clearer. Your mood steadier. Your energy, quieter, but more consistent. And the biggest difference? You're not chasing your next cup. You're choosing it, if and when you want it. That's the power of a reset. This isn't about hating coffee. It's about restoring your natural engine, so caffeine becomes a tool, not a crutch. Because when your energy comes from deep sleep, balanced hormones, and steady blood flow, you don't just feel awake, you feel alive again. Let's talk about what really happens when coffee stops being your master and starts being your companion. Because most men fear giving up caffeine, even partially, because they think they'll lose their edge. That they'll be dull, foggy, slow. But here's what I've seen again and again: when men over 60 reset their relationship with caffeine, they don't lose sharpness. They gain stability. They don't feel dull. They feel clear. They don't slow down. They steady up. Let me break it down for you. Checkmark more natural morning energy. When your body wakes up without artificial spikes in cortisol or adrenaline, you rise differently. Not jolted. Not shaky. But solid, present. You stop surviving the morning. You start moving through it, on your own power. Men tell me, I didn't realize how much tension I carried until it was gone. That tension. It wasn't life. It was overstimulation. And now, it's replaced with grounded momentum. Checkmark deeper, restorative sleep. When caffeine steps back, sleep steps forward. You fall asleep faster. You stay asleep longer. And most importantly, you reach deep sleep again. That's when the magic happens. Testosterone rises, growth hormone resets brain cells, clean out toxins, memory consolidates, your body heals from the inside out. This is not something a supplement can fake. It only happens when your nervous system feels safe enough to let go, and caffeine no longer stands in the way. Checkmark hormonal balance and mental calm. When you're not overcaffeinated, your cortisol flattens out. And when cortisol comes down, testosterone comes back online. That's why so many men feel their focus return, their libido come back, their confidence rise, not just physically, but emotionally. You stop feeling reactive. You start feeling steady. Your fuse gets longer. Your thoughts get slower, in the best way. You respond, instead of just reacting. I didn't realize how anxious I was until I wasn't. Checkmark a renewed sense of control. You're no longer chained to the pot. You're no longer asking coffee for permission to feel awake. You're no longer trapped in the crash rebound regret cycle. You wake up. You breathe. You choose how to start your day. That quiet confidence, that grounded masculinity, that sense of, I'm in charge of myself again. That's what returns when caffeine stops calling the shots. So let me be clear, you don't need to quit coffee. You just need to stop depending on it. Because energy, true energy, isn't found in a cup. It's built during the hours you protect. The food you choose. The rhythm you respect. The sleep you restore. And once that kind of energy shows up, you'll never want the fake kind again. If you've ever wondered, why'd I feel so wired, but so exhausted? Why can't I fall asleep even when I'm tired? Why'd I crash right when I need energy the most? You're not crazy. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're just caffeined. That's the word I use when a man's system has been quietly overstimulated for so long, he no longer knows what his real baseline feels like. And it's more common than you think, especially after 60. Because for decades, coffee was the go-to fix, for fatigue, for focus, for fog, for getting through the day. But no one ever explained the long-term cost. They didn't tell you that caffeine blocks the very sleep your brain needs to repair. That it spikes cortisol, which can eat away at testosterone. That it can mimic symptoms of anxiety, irritability, even depression. That over time, it changes how your nervous system responds to everything, even joy. So if you've been feeling off, disconnected from yourself, sluggish but restless, emotional but numb, it doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It means your body's been in survival mode too long, and coffee has been quietly pulling the strings. You didn't fail. You were doing what everyone around you did. You were coping. You were pushing. You were trying to feel something, anything, when your tank was empty. And that's okay. But now you know more. Now you see the pattern. And now you can choose to shift it. Not by quitting coffee cold turkey. Not by throwing away your routine. But by listening more closely to your body, and asking one powerful question each morning. Do I need caffeine, or do I need care? Because sometimes, what you're calling a caffeine craving is really a craving for rest. For slowness. For presence. For real energy, the kind that comes from breakfast, movement, sunlight, and deep sleep. So no, you're not crazy. You're caffeined. And the good news? That can change. In 3 days. In 1 week. In a quiet shift that says to your body, I trust you now, let's do this differently. You don't need to start your day with noise, with stimulation, with urgency. You need a ritual. One that's not about control, but about support. One that tells your body, you're safe now, you don't need to push. Let's build something steady together. This is what I call the Real Energy Morning Ritual, a simple practice designed specifically for men over 60, to restore the foundation of clarity, strength, and calm without leaning on caffeine to carry you. Let's build it together, step by step. Mantelpiece clock. Step 1. Wake up slow. Sit with silence. Before grabbing your phone, before turning on the news, take 1 minute, just 60 seconds, to sit at the edge of your bed and breathe. Feel your feet on the ground. Roll your shoulders. Let your nervous system catch up. No stimulation yet, just connection. Droplet step 2. Drink a glass of warm water. Yes, warm. This gently rehydrates your cells, wakes up your digestion, and improves blood flow. Add a slice of lemon or a pinch of sea salt if you'd like. But the point is, start your engine with nourishment, not shock. This one glass signals, I'm alive. And I'm not rushing anymore. Cooking step 3. Eat real protein within 30 minutes. Caffeine on an empty stomach spikes stress. But protein in the first 30 minutes? That stabilizes blood sugar, supports testosterone, and fuels your mitochondria, your energy centers. Here are 3 protein-rich breakfast options you can rotate. Option 1. 2 scrambled eggs plus 1/2 avocado plus a slice of whole grain toast. Option 2. 1 cup Greek yogurt plus chia seeds plus blueberries. Option 3. Cottage cheese plus banana slices plus sprinkle of cinnamon. All take less than 5 minutes. All help your body build real fuel, not borrowed bursts. Sun face step 4. Get 5 to 10 minutes of morning sunlight. Go outside. Step on your porch. Stand near a window. Morning light helps regulate your circadian rhythm, which resets your cortisol levels, supports melatonin at night, and helps rebuild your natural energy cycles. It's not magic. It's nature. And your body responds to it, especially as you age. Teacup step 5. Drink your coffee if you still want it. Not first. Not fast. But after water, protein, and light. You may find you don't need it as much as you thought. Or you still want it, but 1 small cup is enough. Either way, you're in charge again. This ritual isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. Creating a calm rhythm that your body trusts. So it can give you back what you've been missing. Clearer thoughts, steadier mood, restful sleep, stronger mornings, real energy, without the crash. And if this feels like too much, start with just 1 step. Tomorrow morning, wake up, drink warm water, and eat protein. That alone can change the entire rhythm of your day. Because energy isn't built in a bottle. It's built in moments of care. Moments you give to yourself, without guilt, without rush, without stimulation. Your power returns in stillness. Your energy rebuilds when you stop chasing it. Let your ritual become your restoration. If there's one thing I want you to hear today, it's this: you haven't lost your energy. You've just been pulling it from the wrong places. You've been reaching for cups, instead of rhythm. You've been fighting your body, instead of listening to it. You've been borrowing, instead of rebuilding. And maybe, without even knowing it, you started to believe the lie that fatigue was your new normal. That aging meant always feeling tired. That a foggy brain, shaky hands, shallow sleep, were just the price of getting older. But it's not. You're not finished. You're not broken. You're not powerless. In fact, you've always been the one holding the switch. And the moment you stop chasing energy from outside yourself, is the moment your system starts making it from within again. Because that's what your body is built for, to restore. To recover. To rebuild. Even at 60. Even at 70. Even at 85. Caffeine is not your enemy. But your power begins when you stop depending on it. And when you give your body what it's really asking for, real food. Real rest. Real rhythm. Real light. What comes back isn't just energy. It's presence. It's clarity. It's ownership. You don't need 4 cups of coffee to feel alive. You need 1 moment of self-respect each morning. That's it. So tomorrow, start small, a glass of warm water. A calm breath. A real breakfast. A little sun on your face. That's not weakness. That's leadership. That's a man reclaiming control from the inside out. And if this message stirred something in you, even just a quiet voice saying, "This is what I've been missing," then please, share it. With a brother. With a friend. With someone else who's been reaching for coffee when what he really needed was to feel like himself again. Your story isn't finished. Your energy hasn't left you. It's been waiting, right there inside you, for permission to return. And now, you're the one giving it.